In the bustling heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like arrogant giants and the streets pulsed with the endless rush of ambition, a man named Alexander Thorne stepped out of his gleaming black limousine. He was the epitome of success, a self-made millionaire whose tech empire had revolutionized the way the world connected online. Dressed in a tailored suit that cost more than most people's annual salary, Alex adjusted his cufflinks and strode toward his penthouse office, his mind already racing through board meetings and stock fluctuations. But as he crossed the crowded sidewalk, a small voice pierced the urban cacophony like a fragile melody in a storm. "Sir, please," it whispered, barely audible over the honking taxis. Alex paused, his polished shoes halting mid-step. There, huddled against the cold concrete wall, was a girl no older than 10, her clothes ragged and her eyes wide with desperation. In her trembling hands, she held a crumpled sign that read, "Help my brother, he's dying." Little did Alex know, this encounter would shatter his armored heart and remind him, and all of us watching, of the raw power of human connection. If this story touches you even a fraction as much as it did me while writing it, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that prove kindness can change everything. Now, let's dive in. Alex Thorne hadn't always been this fortress of a man. Born in a modest suburb, he grew up watching his parents scrape by, their dreams deferred by endless bills and unfulfilled promises. His father, a factory worker, died young from a preventable illness because they couldn't afford the treatment. That loss fueled Alex's relentless drive. He vowed never to be vulnerable again. By 35, he'd built Thorne Innovations from a garage startup into a billion-dollar company, employing thousands and influencing millions. But success came at a cost: isolation. His marriage crumbled under the weight of his workaholic ways, and his only sister drifted away, resenting how he'd prioritized fortune over family. Now, at 42, Alex lived in a world of luxury yachts and private jets, yet his nights were haunted by emptiness. He donated to charities, sure, tax write-offs, he called them, but he kept his heart locked away, convinced that emotions were a weakness in the cutthroat game of life. The girl, whose name was Lily, stared up at him with eyes that seemed too old for her tiny frame. Her hair was matted from days on the street, and dirt smudged her cheeks like war paint from a battle she never chose. Behind her, in a makeshift cardboard shelter, lay her little brother, Tommy, no more than 6, his breathing shallow and ragged. A fever burned through him, his small body wrapped in threadbare blankets scavenged from dumpsters. Lily and Tommy had been orphans for 2 years, ever since a car accident claimed their parents. They'd bounced between foster homes until the system failed them, spitting them out onto the unforgiving streets. Lily, with the fierce protectiveness of a big sister, had taken on the role of guardian, begging for scraps to keep Tommy fed. But now, Tommy's cough had turned into something sinister, a rare infection that attacked his lungs, diagnosed by a free clinic doctor who could only offer sympathy and a referral to a specialist they couldn't afford. "Sir," Lily pleaded again, her voice cracking, "please save my brother. He needs medicine, surgery. I'll do anything. I'll work for you. Just, don't let him die." Alex froze, the words hitting him like a freight train. Save my brother. It echoed in his mind, dredging up memories he'd buried deep. His own sister, Elena, had said something similar when their father fell ill. "Alex, please, we have to save Dad." But they couldn't. The hospital bills piled up, and Alex, just a teenager then, watched helplessly as his father slipped away. He glanced down at Lily, her plea hanging in the air, and for the first time in years, a crack formed in his stoic facade. "Kid, I can't just," he started, but the words caught in his throat. Passers-by hurried past, oblivious or indifferent, their own lives too chaotic to notice the drama unfolding. Alex pulled out his wallet, intending to toss a few bills and walk away, as he always did. But as he handed her a $100 note, Lily shook her head. "Money won't fix it, sir. The doctor said he needs a transplant. It's expensive. More than I can ever beg for." Her eyes filled with tears, not for herself, but for the boy who was her whole world. That night, Alex couldn't shake the image of Lily and Tommy. In his opulent penthouse, surrounded by art worth millions, he paced the floor, the city lights twinkling mockingly below. Why did this bother him so much? He'd seen beggars before, hell, he'd been one in spirit during his impoverished youth. But something about Lily's unwavering love for her brother mirrored his own unresolved grief. He poured a scotch, staring at an old photo of his family on his desk, the one he kept hidden in a drawer. Elena's number was still in his phone, untouched for years. On impulse, he dialed it. Alex, her voice answered, tentative and surprised. They talked for hours, about their father's death, about how Alex's ambition had pushed her away, about the void that money couldn't fill. You think you're invincible, Elena said softly, but life's not about building walls. It's about who you let in. By dawn, Alex had made a decision. He wasn't just going to help, he was going to dive in head first. The next morning, Alex returned to the spot where he'd met Lily. She was there, feeding Tommy a meager breakfast of stale bread. "Sir," she said, hope flickering in her eyes as he approached, this time without the limo, just him, in casual clothes. "I'm taking you both to the hospital," he declared. Lily hesitated, fear of strangers ingrained from street life, but Tommy's worsening cough left her no choice. At the elite medical center Alex funded anonymously, doctors swarmed. Tests revealed Tommy needed a lung transplant urgently, the infection had ravaged his tiny organs. The cost? Astronomical. But Alex waved it away. "Bill it to me," he said. As they waited for a donor match, Alex sat with Lily in the sterile waiting room. She opened up about their life, the accident that stole their parents, the foster homes where they were separated until Lily ran away to find Tommy, the nights they huddled together against the cold. "He's all I have," she whispered. Alex shared his story too, the factory job that killed his dad, the drive that made him rich but alone. For the first time, he felt seen, not as a mogul, but as a man with scars. Challenges mounted like storm clouds. The donor search dragged on, compatible matches were rare for a child Tommy's age. Lily's trust wavered when social services got involved, fearing they'd be split up again. Alex fought bureaucracy with his lawyers, petitioning for temporary guardianship. Meanwhile, his company suffered, board members grumbled about his sudden absences, stocks dipped. Rumors swirled in the tabloids, tech tycoon plays hero to street kids, PR stunt. Alex ignored it all, but doubt crept in. Was he doing this for them or to assuage his guilt? One night, as Tommy's fever spiked, leading to an emergency intubation, Alex broke. Alone in the hospital chapel, he wept, great, heaving sobs for his father, for Elena, for the life he'd wasted chasing shadows. Lily found him there. "Sir, why are you crying?" she asked. He looked up, eyes red. "Because I see myself in you, kid. I couldn't save my family, but maybe I can save yours." Resolution came in waves, like the tide washing away debris. A donor match appeared, a tragic accident elsewhere provided the lungs Tommy needed. Surgery day was tense, Alex paced the halls with Lily, holding her hand as she prayed. Hours later, the doctor emerged, "He's stable." It went perfectly. Relief flooded the room. In recovery, Tommy's color returned, his breath steady for the first time in months. Alex didn't stop there. He reunited with Elena, inviting her to meet the kids. She arrived with open arms, and together, they formed an unlikely family. Alex adopted Lily and Tommy legally, giving them a home in his penthouse, transformed from a cold museum into a warm haven with toys, books, and laughter. He stepped back from his CEO role, delegating to focus on philanthropy, starting a foundation for orphan children with medical needs. But the true turning point was subtle, emotional. One evening, as Tommy played with new toys and Lily read a book Alex bought her, she turned to him. Sir, Alex, thank you for saving my brother. Tears welled in Alex's eyes again, but this time, they were joyful. You saved me too, Lily. You reminded me what matters. The story spread, first through whispers, then viral posts. People saw not a millionaire's whim, but a man's redemption. Alex's company rebounded, inspired by his renewed passion. Elena mended bridges, and the siblings, old and new, built bonds unbreakable. Years later, Alex stood at a TED Talk stage, Lily and Tommy by his side, now thriving teens. I was rich in money but bankrupt in heart, he said. One girl's plea changed that. Save my brother, it wasn't just her request, it was a call to all of us. In a world that rushes by, stop. Listen. Help. Because saving one life saves your own. The audience erupted in applause, but Alex's eyes met the camera, speaking directly to you. If this moved you, remember, your act of kindness today could be someone's miracle tomorrow. Like this video if it inspired you, subscribe for more stories of hope, and go out there, make a difference. And so, the hook closes the loop. That desperate plea on a New York street wasn't just for a brother, it was a reminder for us all to open our hearts, proving that true wealth lies in the lives we touch.